Hello everyone, my name is jakepeter, and welcome to another episode of the Indie Minutes. Today we're showing off Crypt the Necrodancer, which is pretty much like a roguelike game, and you do it to the beat of music. It has many different areas for you to explore, as well as a dance pad mode, which if you do have a dance pad that you can hook up to your computer, I would totally suggest trying this at least once, because it is a great workout for anyone to really do, and it's a lot easier to do, and it's only the first zone. As of right now, we're just going to show off as much as I can of Zone 1. When you jump into this game, there is going to be a tutorial, so if you are at all worried about much of what's going on, it will be told to you in a very great fashion. So you have your multiplayer that breaks whenever you go off beat, and once you start moving on the floor, that's when the beat goes on. And the whole point is to get to the end, and there are lots of different enemies for you to go after again. They're going to have different patterns, and you're going to want to explore their patterns. You can actually put in your own custom music to play this with, so you can put in like really fast music. It has something that explores the music for you and takes out the beats, although even though it's there, it's not like fully developed in a great way. That's a giant zombie. Don't see that a whole lot, but it's part of the game. And so you want to get these different enemies down to a certain point where you can actually use them for getting just everything you need. And those gold, they'll bring you where you need to. And then you'll actually have bombs, and you can get a bunch of different weapons. Just make sure you don't lose your beat. That's when it's really going to go haywire for you. Because items on the first, just any page really, rely a lot on you having your multiplayer worked up through the whole floor to get some of the better items. And there are actually some expert things you can do, like you can buffer on walls if need be, so that enemies can come towards you, because you all move on the same beat pattern. So even if you don't move, your enemies are going to move. This is something called a sacrifice thing. I'm not going to show it. I guess I can. I don't know what it's going to do, but you can swap out your items. Don't know what that did. Whoops. Basically, on each floor, you're going to have a boss enemy that you need to take out, and then you have all these different items. We're going to hope we can at least get to the first boss and show off a little bit of the second area if we can. So that's actually going to damage you right there, that skull thing. Not something you want to go after. Not at all. And so there are a bunch of different traps you need to work out. There's a bunch of different weapons. There's like a cat of nine tails that can utterly wreck you. I don't know what a lot of these enemies are called anymore, but it's not that bad. So when you play through the game normally like I am, you're going to get the ability to play with diamonds on. So the way that diamonds work is they help you get items that are going to appear in the dungeon, so you can get weapon upgrades that will then appear in game. Don't worry about the game when you first play through it, because it's going to be so much harder your first time through. When I played through this the very first time, wow, Jake can't speak. When I played this the very first time, I was not able to get past floor 1, area 1. It's just really hard. And it takes a lot of practice just getting where you need to go and learning the fine mechanics of how everything works. And oh man, we died to the dragon. Okay, so yeah, the dragon's going to be a big killer of runs. I'm going to try and fast forward to a boss fight. You can quick restart if need be. You can watch how you died. And there's actually going to be lobbies for daily challenges. If you're in much of a mood to fight against other people, you can see how well you've ranked against everyone else. That right there is actually going to be a trapdoor, which brings you automatically to the next floor. Can be useful, but you'll be dropped into typically enemy rooms here. Once you beat all the enemies, it turns into a regular room on the floor below, so yeah, beware of those monster houses. I also want to point out right now, while I'm thinking about it, this game does have controller support, so if you want to plug in a controller because you think you can move easier that way, go ahead, and it's actually quite simple to do in the menuing. As you actually just saw in that previous room, before we even get to the boss yet again, that was a the end of the song. And when you reach the end of a song, you're actually going to just instantly fall and lose whatever you had going on there. And just because we're here and talking about it, we're actually using something called a gold weapon, and you get more gold the more your multiplier is on your weapon. And it's actually, I believe, the rapier. And the way the rapier works is if you kill an enemy, so you can attack an enemy up to 2 squares away, and if you kill it, you actually jump forward 1. So that's something you need to worry about a little bit when you're thinking about using different weapons, is that they're going to have different mechanics. And so that's something that you really need to think about. And we actually used a drumstick, which heals us 3, so it was okay for me to use that. And that's going to be a blood weapon right there. That's going to, I believe, every 8 hits heal you half a heart or a full heart. So that's just another type of weapon. And there's obsidian, which deals more damage the more multiplier you have. And there's glass, which breaks the moment you get hit, even 1 time, no matter how many heart containers you may have. And to note, when we're casually playing through, you're going to have whatever heart containers you had. But when you're going to be playing daily ranked, you're only going to have 3, if not 2. And that just gets, that doesn't use anything else. So it's something to be worried about. Okay. So we can afford taking these extra hits just because we can. I don't know. So there are 4 different bosses, I believe, and they have their different difficulties depending on the stage you're on. Coral Reef, I think, is going to be very hard for the weapon we have. I don't know why I decided to keep this weapon. We actually need to get close. Maybe it won't be that bad. So for Coral Reef, once you actually take out these things, then you're more or less in the clear. But yeah, if you were to beat the enemies, then at the top part of the screen, you're going to be getting something along the lines of extra treasure chests, and there'll be 3. You can choose 1. They're going to be different types. Red is usually health, and then there's purple, which are rings, black, which is other stuff, and there's magic scrolls you can get, and there are many different things to explore when you play this game. It's a game I would highly recommend playing, just because it's very fun and simple, and something you can literally play for 10 minutes a day. Especially, it's one of those games that have daily challenges, so you can go and try and do as well as you can on the daily. And it's actually going to work either for speedruns or a score, so there are different categories you can do when running this, and it's great to just race people because there are seeded runs that you can play. And without even forgetting about it, I need to talk about the music. The music in this game is just lovely and on point. It's just great music, and they did really well when they chose the sound person to play it. It's Danny B. If you don't recognize that name, they've done some other great soundtracks like Faster Than Light, as well as some other things I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, but it's just great music, and it took such a long time to make, and I can just appreciate the fine aesthetics about this game. Again, this game is in the description below for if you want to go purchase it yourself, and let me know what you think of this game in the comment section below, because it's something I definitely love having, and just being able to play whenever. And yeah, just pick it up if you can. And until next time, everybody, make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more content, and let's peace.